Hello Year 10, this is Giles King-Smith. I'm your year chaplain, and this is a short reflection on harvest. Sorry about the croaky voice, I've got a bit of a sore throat. You can see behind me, hopefully, a little bit of the sea and a beautiful view from our house, which we're so lucky to have. And it makes me feel thankful. In a way, what I want to talk about is that harvest as a time in the church's year is a time for thanksgiving. We call our harvest services harvest thanksgivings, and in the old days, if you were in a village church, you'd have a whole load of stuff brought in, fruits of the harvest, all kinds of stuff, beautiful harvest loaves, all kinds of different symbols, if you like, of the things that the land had provided, for which we need to be thankful, which we don't need to forget about, which we need to remember to be thankful for and to thank God for. And I think that's still, even in towns and cities, still absolutely relevant and true for us today. Whether we're thanking God for the harvest as such or for anything else, one thing that's absolutely true is if we forget to be thankful, we endanger our own, I would say, mental and spiritual health. I would say that thankfulness is almost like a discipline. It's almost something we need to practice over and over again. I have to say that, when I wake up in the morning, sometimes I'm really thankful to be alive. I know that's probably just to do with getting older. But sometimes, not always, I actually feel really thankful at the start of a new day, that I've woken up, that I can look out of the window, that I have a whole day stretching before me with all kinds of unknown possibilities. And if you look back to the Old Testament, when the idea of harvest first came around, was first put forward to the children of Israel, the primary thing was that they shouldn't forget the good things they'd been given. They should have an annual occasion when they ensured that they were going to remember to give thanks for all the good things they'd received. For many centuries, harvest as a festival, a religious festival, lapsed until the 19th century, when a vicar called Robert Hawker, who's the vicar of Morwenstow over in North Cornwall, revived it. And he did it because he could see a lot of poverty around in the rural communities at that time, people struggling to get by, but it seemed to have bred a meanness of spirit, which meant that the people in his parish found it almost impossible to give thanks. They were always moaning, always complaining, always grumbling, sometimes with good cause. And so he revived the tradition of harvest thanksgiving. And he set up a service where people would bring the fruits of the harvest and they would gather in church, and what they would do primarily would be to be thankful for all they'd been given. I think that's still a really good principle for us today. What can we find to be thankful about? What can we count as blessings in our lives? I do think that when people are anxious or depressed, and this is true for many people at this time, with good reason, after all that we've gone through in the last few months, I do think that the people who are doing best, mentally and I'd say spiritually as well at this time, are those who are able to be thankful, even for small things. You could say those whose glass is half full rather than half empty. But as I said before, there's a sense in which thankfulness is a discipline. When our parents said to us, reminded us to say thank you, they weren't just being annoying, although it felt like it at the time. They were actually instilling in us something really important, which is that if you don't remember to say thank you, you will become an ungrateful person. And an ungrateful person, in my experience, is a miserable person. So thankfulness, I'd suggest, is something we need to actually work on, something we need to cultivate and learn and remember to do. And it's as simple as at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day saying thank you. You might not want to say it to God, but you might still want to say thank you in some way for the day that has been. The thank you might go alongside a bit of a sorry, certainly does for me, for the things I've got wrong. And it might go alongside a prayer, asking for the things we need and praying for the people that we love or the people who are in trouble. But essential to whatever kind of ritual we have of reviewing our lives and reviewing our days will be saying thank you. Remembering how important it is to be thankful for all the things we've been given, for life itself, for the people around us, the people who care for us, for our friends as well as our families, and of course at Harvest, for all the good things that we've been given, which we can so easily take for granted, but which actually we have the chance to say thank you for at this time and really mean it. Thanks for listening. Go well.